So now finally we can come to the user item. So inside this build method, I want to load the user ID. So the current user ID. So equals to ref.watch current user provider .uid, like that. Now we get the data of the user. So user data async equals to ref.watch load user information provider passing the user ID. So when we'll be sending this email, we are going to need to update the state, and the state variable is going to be ref.watch it's mail controller provider. And in case we get an error, we want to show that error. So ref.listen mail async value mail controller provider, and the listener we get the previous state which we are not going to use, and the state. And then here state.show alert dialog on error passing the context, like that. So here the entire card, here we want to return an async value widget which is of type app user. So the value is user data async and the data is user data, and then we are going to return our card, like that. So when the email button is pressed, we are going to convert this to an async, and we are going to add quite a lot of business logic here, which is not recommended, but just for the sake of this video, and this is because I'm feeling quite tired, I'm just going to put them here. But I'm gonna reorganize them to place them where they are supposed to be, but it is for sure going to work. So as you can remember, our send email in the mail control, as you can see, the send email is returning a bool. So is equals to await ref.read mail controller provider .notifier .send email. Okay, want to send the email. So the donor email is going to be now this user. So the app user .email. Okay, so the recipient email is going to be user data .email. Okay, the name is going to be user data .name. Okay, the phone is gonna be user data .phone, and the recipient blood group is going to be user data .blood group, like that. So this result is a Boolean variable. So we want to ensure that if it is successful, so if it is successful, now we want to add notifications, and we also want to save the IDs to database. If it is true, then we are gonna do ref.read. Here we are going to pass the Firestore controller provider .notifier .save IDs to database. So the recipient ID is user data .id user ID, and the donor ID is going to be app user .user ID. Again, we now want to send the notifications, and remember, notification, we are going to need a date. Okay, so final date. So final date is equals to date time .now and then .toString, like that. So let us now create the notification. So my notification equals to app notification. So the text is going to be requested a blood donation. Date is going to be date. The donor ID is going to be app user .user ID, and the recipient ID is going to be user data .user ID, like that. Okay, now since we have notification, we can now add notification to database, and we can do that by using ref.read Firestore controller provider .notifier dot add notification, recipient ID pass user data dot user ID, toner ID pass app user dot user ID, and app notification pass my notification, like that. So once all that is done, I want to create now a dialog that is going to pop up when all of that process is complete. Okay, so here I have created this show alert dialog method with a context which returns an alert dialog with a title, with an icon, and with actions. So let me run the application and try to press this email button, and then I'm gonna go to the Firestore, and I'm gonna see if what I've done is going to work. So right now we just have the users. Okay, I have run the application, so let me try to press on this and see what happens. Okay, so when I press on email, as you can see, we get this message, donor emailed successfully. Okay, when I click on OK, that disappears. As you can see now, I have received an email directly from the application. So this is my email with all the details of the recipient. So that's their blood group, their email, their phone number, and their name. Okay, so that worked as expected. So one thing that I forgot was to update here, so that when I click on email, we can have a loading indicator here at the bottom, and that is very easy to do, because for that here, the child, we can say if the state dot is loading, I want to show the const circular progress indicator, else I show that